And I need to be careful too with animals. We have a drain pan underneath, and I have some cats that are, well, we try to keep them inside, but we can't. They're hunter killers, but my point is animals like antifreeze because it's sweet, and so you never want to leave a container of coolant antifreeze laying out, because animals will drink it and it'll kill them. Okay, so let's think about what we're doing. No.
We're gonna have to hose that down.
Yep. Don't touch good kitty. Hey guys, Scanner Danner here. Today we're working in my driveway on a friend's car. This is a 2007 Nissan Quest. Customer complaint, his battery keeps going dead. And when I drove it here, she lives like a block or two away. When I drove it here, the battery light was on while I was driving the car. Lights were real dim. It has a new battery in it. We're suspecting we have an alternator problem. So we're going to be doing a charging system diagnosis on this 2007 Nissan Quest. Special thanks to cameraman Caleb, who's here with us. And special thanks to you guys for being here. Let's get started on this car. So one of the things that I did right when I got the car here last night is I put a battery charger on it, and I had it on a 2 amp small trickle charge overnight, and it was still only 25% when I got up this morning. Maybe this charger has seen better days, so unfortunately we still don't have a fully charged battery. That is never a good thing when you're doing charging system tests, but it can still be done. The voltage readings might be a little bit off, but we can still diagnose this charging system with a low battery. So battery's low. Let's get you a shot inside. I'll start the car and I'll show you the battery light is on with the car running, and then we'll do some checks under the hood. I did some preliminary research, and this is a non-computer controlled alternator. Everything is self-contained. It has 3 wires. It has a main feed, a main BAT cable, heavy cable, and then it has a ignition positive wire that's fed from a fuse, and then it has a gauge or bulb wire, and that's it. I mean, it has a ground wire too, so I guess you could say 4, but it's a real basic charging system. Let's get a shot inside the car. As you can see, we have more than just the battery light on, which is pretty typical. See, our battery light is on, car is running. There's some other lights on as well, but our main focus, that guy. All right, so here's the wiring diagram. And what we want to do is really limit our time where we're running the car, because I'm suspecting the alternator's bad, and we have to remove the radiator to get the alternator out. It's a pretty big repair, so I don't want to get it too hot. But you can see the main cable is protected by a 140 amp fuse. That's my big heavy cable. We'll check that one. We'll do a voltage drop test there. We'll do that one with the engine running. This one, initial test, I just want to make sure that this fuse is good. And so on this wire that says YB, yellow with a blue, I believe, we're going to check that one for ignition positive right now with just the key on. That's a 10 amp circuit that goes right to the battery. Actually, that looks like that's hot all the time. Diagram could be off on that. Kind of doesn't make sense that that would be hot all the time. And this is your bulb circuit. It needs a ground by the alternator down here, a power up here. That is working. Whenever this thing starts to charge, it takes that ground away and makes that bulb go out. So that's operation of the circuit. Real quick check on this wire is what I want to do first, just to ensure that that fuse is good. All right. That is a yellow and a black, not yellow blue. Well, my hopes were that this fuse was blown, because this is a pretty lengthy job and we're gonna fix this for her. Just from the repair standpoint, I was hoping the fuse was blown and we had some electrical problem. It's not looking like the case. Get a shot of this voltmeter. All right, so my first wire, that's that smaller gauge fused circuit. This is the one I'm connected on. It's yellow with a black, and I'm reading 13 volts on that circuit right now. So my charger's connected. So I'm going to start it for the rest of this. Well, I guess I could show you the bulb circuit too. That's going to be ignition. All right, the key is on right now. The next one would be the bulb circuit. This really isn't necessary to check this with the engine off, but I'll do it anyway. I normally don't do this with the engine off. I'm just trying to limit our run time here, guys. I just don't want this thing really hot. This is my bulb circuit reading 1.3 volts, and that's because the bulb is lit right now. Yes. So it has a power, it has a ground. It's not a full ground, but it's enough to light that bulb. I'm not concerned about my bulb circuit at all. The last one's going to be my heavy BAT post, and we'll do that one with it running. Let me jump back to the smaller gauge yellow black. So I'm on the yellow black circuit. We're going to start it up now. Redo these tests with it running. Again, I didn't have it running initially because I'm just trying to keep the temperature down, but we have to do this running now. So we'll check that one, and then we'll check the BAT wire, and we'll be done. This will be getting an alternator. That thing's humming too. Do you hear the moan of that? That alternator shot. So that's my smaller gauge wire reading 12.3. I'll show you my bulb circuit too with it running. Come over here, Caleb. I'll just move this over to my bulb circuit. We're reading that same 1.34 volts. So bulb circuit is grounded. Next one's the BAT post. Get a shot of where I'm connected, Caleb. You're not going to be able to see exactly that I'm on that post, but I have my alligator clip connected to that BAT post, the battery cable. Okay? And our voltage is 12.32. So system voltage, doing a voltage drop test on that cable is going to involve moving this over to my positive cable. And so now what we're doing is a power to power voltage drop test. We're reading 0 volts. There is no drop on that circuit. Okay, that's one method of measuring battery voltage compared to alternator voltage. It would take 2 readings to do that. Come over here at the battery, compare it to the BAT post. We're shortcutting it by moving our negative lead to the positive. A voltmeter reads the difference in potential, and so there is no voltage difference. Nothing wrong with that heavy cable. Last check would be the ground of the alternator. History of this car, it just had a transmission put in it. It's possible we could have a ground issue, highly unlikely, but I'm just going to connect to the housing of the alternator. There actually is a wire. They're showing some kind of an eyelet that's connected to the alternator itself. We're going to check the ground. We'll just clip it to the case. Anywhere on the case of the alternator, we'll check that. A bad ground would be awesome. I'm not expecting it. Get a shot of where I'm connected, just on the alternator case. And you see on my meter, I'm reading 0.02. So unfortunately, Caleb, we are done as far as our charging system goes. This thing needs an alternator. So I'm going to shut it down. We need to start pulling everything apart, see if we can find a part for this thing today. All right, so we did pull up the R&R procedure. That'd be remove and replace for the rookies. Caleb, R&R, get used to that term. All right, so our description of this, we already went through the wiring, and then we have our removal procedure. I've never done one of these, which is why I pulled this up. So we want to, of course, disconnect the negative battery, remove the rad, remove the drive belts, idler pulley, remove the generator top mount, generator lower bolt, disconnect the harness. Right, pretty straightforward, but the big one is we need to remove the rad. So we're going to go by procedure here. Some of you that work for Nissan might know an easier way to do this, that you might actually be able to cheat it, but us not having done one of these ever before, We're just gonna follow manufacturer recommended procedures. So for the rest of this, you guys get to watch me and Caleb rip this car apart. All right, so one little thing I just showed right there, which was really dumb. You saw me loosen that clamp, and I never checked to see how much pressure was in the system. And there's still pressure in this system. If this wasn't a hot engine, that could be enough to burn you badly, because there's a lot of pressure in here. So this is a warning to you guys, and this is a warning to you, Caleb. You never open up a cooling system when it's hot. Okay, when they're hot, there's pressure in the system, so you can squeeze the hose and figure out how much there is. In our case, I'm gonna relieve it because we're not hot. We didn't run the engine long, but I do have some pressure. I'm gonna relieve it right here at the cap. See, we lost a little bit, but now we're good. And I need to be careful too with animals. We have a drain pan underneath, and I have some cats that are, well, we try to keep them inside, but we can't. They're hunter killers, but my point is animals like antifreeze because it's sweet, and so you never want to leave a container of coolant antifreeze laying out, because animals will drink it and it'll kill them. Okay, so let's think about what we're doing. No.
We're gonna have to hose that down.
Yep. Don't touch. Good kitty. Well, what I need to do is find the drain for this rad. Should have done that first. I just couldn't. I couldn't see one. I don't think there might not be one. In which case, we're gonna get antifreeze everywhere. I think I'd have been better taking this off together. This battery tray is in my way a little bit. You know, I think with the cooling fan out of there, I think I can get that rad out. I mean, I think I can get the alternator out with the rad still in here. I mean, it's really only 2 more transmission cooler hoses and then the lower hose, and it comes out. I do not see a drain on this rad at all. There isn't one. So plan is, I think, to just do that. Maybe we don't even take the rad out any further. I think I can get that alternator out of there. Oh my goodness. Caleb.
What?
There's no freaking belt on this.
What do you mean?
I did something super foolish.
What?
The belt's gone.
What do you mean the belt's gone?
The serpentine belt that drives the alternator. I can't believe I never even checked that.
It's just gone.
The belt's not there.
So it needs a new belt?
Well, the belt, well, at least the cameras are rolling. That's a pretty big mistake that I just made. It's not huge. I mean, I did some stuff. It wasn't that big of a deal, but I missed that. One of the things you need to make sure, as we learned with Jake's car, is to make sure that the belt is tight, right? And there, the belt's not even there. The belt's gone. Why'd the belt come off? That alternator is spinning freely. The AC compressor is also driven off of that belt. There's 2 belts on this car. One for the power steering, and then one for the rad and the AC. I'm worried about this pulley. Let's get some of this stuff out of my way. I'm embarrassed. And I swear I heard the alternator humming I guess we didn't because the belt's not there. Yeah, the idler pulley spins freely too. It could be lack of maintenance. Oh yeah. The back belt also, oh yeah, it's super cracked up. I can't get to anything up here. I can't get to anything. Yeah, AC compressor pulley's okay. A little bit of a rubbing noise. Alternator spins freely. I believe what we had was a lack of maintenance and an old belt. What we need to do, Caleb, is shut things down where we are. We need to go to the parts store and get 2 serpentine belts.
All right, let's see if that's what it needs.
Well, I mean, it definitely does.
Yeah.
That belt's missing. I'm not gonna put an alternator in this thing without putting a belt on it first. I'm pretty sure that the alternator's fine. And from what I see with the back belt that's all cracked up, just lack of maintenance. The car sat for 1.5 years when this transmission was put in, and yeah, just driving it, the belt came off. Pulleys are fine. Everything looks good. Some serpentine belts. I missed it. Talk about a pretty bad mistake on my part. At least I didn't get too deep into the job before catching it. But one of the things we do on this channel is we show our mistakes as well as our successes. What would be the opposite of mistakes? I'm embarrassed, yes, but I'm not going to cut this out. We need to show it. We're going to go to the parts store and get some parts. All right, we're back. We had a little pause here. We had a little bit of lunch, and then we moved the van down to a level spot so I could put a jack underneath it, jack stand, and we're going to be working on this passenger front area. I think I'm going to take this wheel off too, just to give me more access. Again, a little bit embarrassed how I attacked this charging system fault. I want to review a couple of steps. One would be probably the first thing you should do is a visual inspection of the belt. Make sure it's there. In my defense on this system, everything's buried. I couldn't even see it. So different system, I would have caught it right away, but I'll own the mistake, my fault. Make sure the belt's there and then continue with the test that I showed in this video. We're going to put a new belt on this. We'll let you guys see the process involved. This will probably be in a fast forward mode as far as replacing the belt goes, but we'll get some final shots of the charging system, make sure everything is good, and then we'll title this video, How Not to Test a Charging System. Let's get started. So this style of clip, Caleb, when they're in, put a screwdriver or something between, pull out on this, and then that allows the inner side to collapse, and then you pull the whole piece out. Pretty standard type clips. Now I actually have room to work. Here's a piece of your old belt. You can see how deteriorated it was. So this wasn't from a pulley that seized. Look how cracked this thing was. And that's what, you always have to ask yourself when a belt shears, why? Because a pulley will seize, a bearing will seize, not the case in this, on this car. And I do have a jack stand under here. I am not crawling underneath this, putting my life in jeopardy. Never, ever will I do that. I don't care what I'm working on. Oh, that's so much better for everything. Okay. So on this design, Caleb, in the edits, you're gonna see this. There's an adjustment bar right here, and what I just loosened was this pinch bolt right here, and I used the box end of the wrench, but I loosened that, and then I'm gonna turn this nut, and that's gonna pull this pulley up and down, and then I'll loosen and tighten it. There's another pinch bolt in here that I might have to take loose, and then you see the components for my alternator. My alternator pulley is right there. The ribbed one, the smooth one's your idler. There's your AC compressor, and those all spun freely. A little bit of rubbing on that clutch. Swivel sockets, locking extensions, must-have tools. The way you check a belt on the car, Caleb, is you look on the inside of it, you see all the cracks. And when it's off, you can really expose them by doing that. It's all dry rotted.
Yeah.
That shouldn't look like that. Let's hope they gave us the right parts. So I always do this, old and new, whenever I can. All right, I'm happy with that one. And you see the difference with the ribs of a new belt. Why do we have to have that going on? Mouth breather.
What are you doing?
Bracket's bent. All right, sorry for the audio change up here, guys. Mic was bothering me. I couldn't work with it at all. Not sure if I'm the one that bent that or not. I might have, because I didn't loosen that other pinch bolt. This is pretty flimsy, surprisingly.
How bad is that to fix?
We'll see. Get in your home.
That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Working a little blind here, but at least we're good on this now. Should be. Just tightening that pinch bolt. I'm gonna go start this real quick to make sure that belt is centered properly.
All right.
Because if I put the other belt on now, it's gonna be more difficult to get to that. So I'm just gonna start it real quick and shut it right back off. All right, alternator belt now. All right, so this part, this is the tensioner for it. And that's where my adjustment is for the tensioner pulley. And what this is gonna do is gonna loosen this pulley. It's actually a real nice, easy adjustment. Almost there. Okay, good. We're on. You'll see this in the edit as I as I tighten this, that pulley's gonna change its angle. It's gonna push down and tighten the belt. Okay, we start this now. We should have charging voltage. Get a shot inside, battery lights off. There you go, see your battery symbol? Go ahead, start it.
Sweet.
So again, sorry about the mic change, audio change. Lesson is make sure you check your belt before you go crazy. All right, so we're back together. Again, we made a mistake in not checking the belt. The belt is back on. Our battery is still not fully charged. You can see on our tool here that it is showing about 50%. So any loaded circuit alternator tests that we do, we have to consider the battery is also being charged, and our loaded test may show a little bit lower voltage than normal. But I'm going to first disconnect my charger, get that out of the picture. We're not connected to that. See our charging or our battery system voltage is dropping. I'm gonna go ahead and start the car. We'll get a no load test first, so no accessory loads. It'll just be charging the battery. Let's see what we have. Should have around 13.5 to 14.7, Caleb.
Just in case. 14.3.
Right, cool. So we never needed an alternator, which is a good thing. So the serpentine belts, I don't know, it was like $45 or something like that. Pretty cheap, easy fix. What's some takeaways from this? Well, one, we already know, check the serpentine belt. Again, in my defense, I couldn't see it. Two would be on a system like this, make sure you voltage drop test your heavy battery cable, the BAT post I kept calling it. The battery post on the alternator BAT goes right to battery positive. Do a voltage drop test on that. And then on this particular one, we really only had one other circuit that needed to be tested, that main feed. And you know, our bulb circuit is important on some of these. I can post a link in the description of this video for another one that I did where the car was not charging because of the bulb circuit not functioning properly. So keep that in mind. It was a vehicle that the bulb was out, and I actually was able to use my test light as the bulb and made the alternator wake up and start charging. So be careful with that. Sometimes the bulb circuit's really important. On this car it was not. It was just simply for the bulb. And then the case ground. Of course, make sure you have a good ground, and I can't ever recall a time where I had a bad alternator case ground because it's bolted to the block. So, but it can happen, something to check, especially a car that's been sitting for a long period of time. It oxidizes, and also there were components taken out of this. Transmission was out, so things to be aware of. Back to the voltage readings on this. I like 14.3. I'm going to turn all the accessories on. All right, so right now that's heated rear window, heated outside mirrors. I have the high beams on, I have the blower on high, I have the air conditioning on, so we've really loaded this thing down. And the fact that we're sitting at 14.1 at idle is wonderful. And even with the battery being weak, no problem with this alternator. We're done. I'm gonna put the rest of this back together, put my cooling fans back in, We're gonna wrap this one up again, titling it "How Not to Check a Charging System." Possibly, I don't know. Who knows what we'll do with the title. Guys, thanks for joining me. I hope you learned something. If anything, you had a good laugh at me. Caleb, thanks for being cameraman too. Thank you, guys.